This video is sponsored by Ana Luisa. Hi friends, it's Shay. Welcome back to my channel. So Valentine's Day is coming up and today we'll just get ready and go out to pick up some things for Valentine's Day to surprise my boyfriend with. So let's just get started. Let's start off with skincare. I'm just gonna put my hair up, and the first question is, do you use more of a digital planner or the Muji planner? So if you guys have seen my January and February Get Ready With Me, I'll link it somewhere here for you to watch. I started using my bullet journal, and before that I was switching back and forth between my digital and the Muji planner, and I found that I like physical planners more than digital planners. Actual feeling of like crossing something off, it wasn't as satisfying as when I did it on a digital planner. But with that being said, I feel like my digital planners are super versatile, and that's something that I can't get with buying something in store. Millie asked, isn't it hard sometimes to just sit and focus on planning your month? And this is something that I guess YouTube really helps me out with, because I committed to doing a monthly plan with me video. So although it is hard to get myself to do it, it's something that I kind of have to do. It's like a rule that I made for myself. So it's hard, but not really. And I suggest you do this when you're doing any type of work, where if you just film yourself in hyperlapse and you're pretending to be a Studygram account, you'll find that you'll actually focus on your work more because you feel like someone's watching. Their username is OI, but they asked, how is it being a student and doing YouTube at the same time? And I get a lot of questions about YouTube because I feel like a lot of people do want to start a YouTube channel, but they just don't know where to start. So at first I made a goal to make 2 videos a week, which is a lot now that I think about it. And for me, it was important that I just stuck with it for a year and see what happened. And it was something that I really had to schedule it into my day. Otherwise, it was just never gonna get done. Let's say this type of sit down video takes about 30 to 45 minutes to film. My plan with me videos take an hour to film. So depending on what you do, it does take a lot of time to film. But the most time for YouTube is on editing. And it can take me close to 6 to 8 to 10 hours, sometimes even longer, depending on the type of video and how much editing is involved. But I think the hardest part is just sitting down and editing. I don't mind filming at all, but it's a lot harder for me to get myself to sit down for many hours to edit, because just getting started is the hardest part, because you're gonna be sitting for hours and hours. It was also really hard during exam season. How I solved the problem was to just batch content. So I would make videos 2 weeks ahead. I would make so many videos and then use the time until I had to post the video to just edit. I think this advice applies to a lot of other things in life, where you just batch things, where I would study throughout the semester instead of just studying right before I had an exam. And that really helped me actually not have to cram or procrastinate or anything like that. A lip oil. Okay, so my makeup is complete. It looks like this. It looks really just dewy and simple, and that's what I like. And then I'm just gonna plug in my hair straightener. Do you always wear branded clothes? If yes, then which brand? So I don't know if they mean like branded as like luxury brands, because I don't really wear luxury brands, but if we're talking about brands that I wear on a daily basis, I really love for clothing, I really love like Oakenfort, Uniqlo. Recently I've been really into Abercrombie. I also really like Zara. I usually thrift a lot of the items in my closet unless it's like a staple item like a blazer where I just want it to be a nice fit and I know I'm gonna use it for a long time, so I just end up buying it brand new. For jewelry, that kind of brings us to the sponsor for today, which is Ana Luisa. I've done so many collaborations with them in the past, and you know how often I wear the jewelry. So Ana Luisa is a jewelry brand that brings clarity to the jewelry industry and focuses on sustainability. But I do love wearing super minimal jewelry, and that kind of goes with the style that I'm trying to curate, especially with my purchasing rules now. As I said, I don't really buy things brand new often, but when I do, I try to pick sustainable brands or things that I know I'll wear often. And what's cool about Ana Luisa is that they are carbon neutral, which means that they offset 100% of their carbon emissions through all of their business practices. And if you look at their website, it's full of so many beautiful pieces. And today I am wearing 3 of their pieces. The first one is the Helen Necklace, and I stacked it with the Celeste earrings. My right hole kind of closed up, so I'm only wearing it on the left, but it's the star one from the Celeste earrings, and the Celeste earrings also come with the moon one, which my boyfriend's wearing right now, so we're kind of matching, which is kind of cute. And this is called the Vinta disc necklace, and it has this iridescent thing in the middle, and it's gold. For Valentine's Day, which we're prepping for today, Ana Luisa is having a buy one get one 40% off. If you use the link in the description, if you like gifting things to your friends for Valentine's Day, you can get one for yourself, matching something with your friend, or you can do that with your boyfriend as well. I feel like Valentine's Day is so like lovey-dovey, and it's good to reflect that on yourself by treating yourself. So while we wait for this to heat up, we're gonna move on to some other questions. So another question I got was, what is your current favorite song? And I actually discovered this person like a few days ago, but it's called Grant Perez, and all the popular songs on top: Cherry Wine, My Heart, It Beats for You, Absence of You, and especially Clementine are all so good. And I actually had 3 different questions about motivation. So I had questions about how do you motivate yourself or pick yourself up when you're at your lowest, or someone else asked, how do you stay motivated in studying, or how do you stay motivated in life in general? I feel like that's a really good question because most people rely on motivation to like keep going, and I think this is like a super relevant topic, especially like now that we're in February. I feel like a lot of people rely on the motivation that comes with like the new year, and I think that's why it's really important to not just think about like motivation, but to also think about like the systems that you have in place and like discipline, I guess, the rules that you that was hot. The rules that you have set for yourself and how much you respect yourself enough to follow those rules. Like, I don't know what advice I have than to just like do it, because it does get a lot easier when you like incorporate it into your everyday life, whatever you're working on. So I know like with university students, actually spending time to study and like not just doing assignments but studying for exams not the night before, but like weeks in advance. And it all comes down to creating the time to actually do it, and that required a lot of scheduling in advance. So time blocking, giving myself 3 hours during the week per class or per lecture to go over the notes, make my own summary sheets and stuff like that, making sure that I have that done before anything else. And I think like that requires a lot more discipline and like self-respect more than motivation, because motivation's just like a feeling, and like that feeling will fade away, and what you need is like the ability to tell yourself that you have to do it even if you don't feel like it. What is the best way to schedule your day when you're managing multiple projects? I feel like this is a really good one, because when I was in school, I was also volunteering, managing like my personal brands and like pursuing entrepreneurship and stuff like that. So super relevant to my life, especially when I was in school. The biggest thing was time blocking. So I had Google Calendar where I would put all of my classes, all of the office hours for my professors, all of my previous commitments like volunteering if I had a set schedule for that, my work hours, stuff like that. And then I see like where all the empty spaces are, and instead of just like going with the flow, I would block time out of the day to be like, in these 3 hours between my classes, I'm gonna review the class that I had before and make summary sheets, study, or do assignments for it. And having those set times for myself really helped kind of set the boundary between the workday and like playtime, I guess. And I think it's also important to know how much time each task is going to take, whatever you put on your to-do list, especially if you're managing multiple projects. So let's say you have like 3 things on your to-do list. Even though 3 things on your to-do list seems like a very short to-do list, if each thing is going to take 2 to 3 hours, that takes up most of your day, right? And I think a lot of people have like the tendency to not have good estimates of how long each task is going to take. And if you overdo your to-do list, then at the end of the day, you're going to feel like a failure for not completing everything on your to-do list. And if you underdo your to-do list, you kind of have like gaps in your day where you could have used it to do better things, I guess. I use this system where I would put in soft brackets the estimates of like, for example, if I'm going to complete assignment number 1 that day on my to-do list, I would put an estimate in brackets like how long it's going to take me. So like I would put in brackets 1, and that meant either 1 hour or 1 Pomodoro session, depending on if I was doing Pomodoros that week. Or if it's something like studying for an exam where you might never be done studying, I would put in hard brackets, which means that I have to do it for that certain amount of time. And I would put hard brackets 1, which means I have to do whatever that I put for an hour or 1 Pomodoro session. And this really helps with not overdoing your to-do list. I totally forgot to film an outro, but as always, thank you so much for watching until the very end of the video, and I hope you have a sunny day.